Welcome, Deep. So great to have you on the show. I know I've had a few Varo team members on our events before the crisis, so I'm really interested to hear what's going on at Varo because you guys do some incredible stuff as far as being a challenger bank. Let me know.
Yeah. So thank you, Pam. Thanks, thanks for having me. And you're right. There is a lot of interesting and challenging work here at Varo, and I think it goes back to is the mission what we came up with, right? This is the mission which is we really wanted to build a bank for all of us. And when we think from the building the bank for all of us, this is where the technology come into a play, where technology can serve all the customers at the same time with their needs. So our focus continues to be how do we remain innovative? How do we keep this, agility and the speed in our product delivery to make sure that we listen to our customers and understand their needs and keep delivering those product features in the marketplace. So that's what's happening here at Varo.
Fantastic. And I know when I first started all the FinTech meetups and because I've been following, Bitcoin and blockchain since 2008 when I was in Ireland, so a bit ahead of the game. And I was just stunned when I moved to Silicon Valley in 2010, and particularly when I started the FinTech meetups, that it just seemed to be very slow as far as the uptake for fintech. So good to see companies like Varo and other challenger banks coming onto the scene. But I did ask someone, why has it been so slow here? And the only response I had in those days was, this is a few years ago, was that the incumbents were so strong and so big that they just didn't want to lose their jobs. And so there was sort of a suppression. But I'm thinking that now, after the crisis, surely people are wanting more of the sort of services you guys have got. Am I correct?
No, and you are 100% correct, right? So this is the reality. This is a consumer-driven economy, and consumers are demanding more. Consumers are seeing all the technology innovation happening around them. I go to Google and I start typing something, and Google knows what my intent is, right?
Yeah,
So I think we have reached a point where those industries, like the banking industry, there was no any technology innovation was happening here
I
for
know.
decades,
I
right?
know.
And
Yeah.
right, and suddenly what we are seeing is this mobile device has changed that mindset because now guess what? I don't need to physically need to go drive my car, go to a branch and do the things. I can carry this bank with me 24/7 in my device and I can have it. So,
It's
consumer got
fabulous.
the taste. They got the
Yeah.
taste and now they're saying, hey, give me more, right? I'm not going to stop
Yeah.
here. So, and,
Yeah.
and this is where I think you see the massive billions of dollars of investments now coming into this sector is
Great.
because there is a realization that we not been investing and now we need to change it.
Great. And what have you found since the crisis happened last year that has been the greatest demand on your services? Have you noticed that there's certain areas that are really pumping
Sure.
now?
Yeah, no, I definitely I can share. But someone in the past when I was interviewing, they asked me, "How does it feels to be a digital bank?" And I said, "What do you mean by that? We are born digital. We are born digital, right?" That's the difference, right? So, so, so we've been. It is like my son telling him that, "Hey, we used to have mainframe." He has no idea what the mainframe is
Yes.
because right, it is the laptop he cares. So
Yeah.
we were what we saw couple of things.
Okay.
One we saw the validation that the path what we have taken on building the bank for all of us is the right path because we continue to see during the pandemic time when people are losing their jobs how easy and fast we were able to get those money coming from stimulus coming from other areas
Yep.
deposited to their accounts
Yeah.
and made it accessible to them at a faster pace. So it was a pure validation and satisfaction you get when you see the system is working as we built it, right? The second piece, we definitely see how people are basically, giving money to, like, if I'm a family member, I'm a part of a Varo network, and I have my son part of the Varo network.
Yeah.
He's in some other place. I can transfer that money.
Right.
So I think the biggest part, what we saw, the spike in the consumption of our services. And then on top of it, it was a validation, the path what we had chosen from the day one, it was the right path. Because Pamela, the one thing which people didn't realize, we decided to take a tough path to build a charter and get the charter and build the
Yes.
bank, and
Yeah.
which is definitely, there is one customer I was talking to a few weeks back, and that customer was saying, I want to make sure that I trust my bank. And what that trust means is the security. Is the
Yes.
security that my money is with you and you can make that money available to me at any time. So this charter enables us to build all the great tools and services securely while serving them and giving them access at the right time whenever they want.
And I remember you guys were the first challenger bank really to get that charter. Is that correct in the
That's
US?
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Now I remember celebrating with one of your
Yeah,
team
I
members
know. I know.
and
It was like, woohoo.
congratulating him. It's really fantastic. And so, what would you say? Obviously, that's an incredible plus because it immediately builds a lot more trust into your services. But what would you say that is the main resource that people, the biggest resource that people seem to access through your services? Because obviously things have changed with the crisis. So I'm just wondering, was there more uptake on a certain service that you noticed?
No, I think is the part what we, so this is the banking system is the side effect of the economy as it shifts, right? That's what
Yep,
happens.
yep,
So what we have seen, the gig economy being, coming in for a long time, and we can see people getting into, the days about my money is gonna come on the 15th of the month. Now the Uber driver gets the money whenever they wrap up their, the first shift, right? So we
right.
started seeing the flowing of money in and out, the pace has increased. It is not that the money comes in on a specific date and then I consume. It is, so we started seeing,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So the big difference, when you go to the traditional banks, their infrastructure, because you don't use the bank like you, the money is not coming every hour on those because it is, they're not
No.
making, right? On our side, what we started seeing is as money comes in, they start consuming it, right? So they go and they spend money on a grocery store, they spend money
Right,
on other places. So
right.
the uptick of money coming in and going out with the gig economy was definitely what we saw was a major factor going in. And then what we started seeing during the pandemic time as the people, because one of the things which Colin Walsh always talks about, who's the CEO of Varo,
Yep,
he wanted to build a bank for all of us, is we
yep.
started seeing, the people are becoming more aware of Varo and they are signing up, and because they feel
Great.
like, they want to use our services, like, save your change, save your pay. And recently, if you look into, we launched our, this Varo Believe, which is basically, we help you build your credit, as you grow in your food chain. So there are,
Oh, that's great. I hadn't
yeah.
heard about that. Wow.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. If you search Varo Believe, we have launched that product. We have launched Varo Advance, which is, there are times customers require this $20 at a one
Yeah,
moment of time. I just want to put my gas to
yeah,
do something. We
yeah.
give you that $20 for free. We don't charge you any fees for that. So we have launched
Wow.
that. So
Wow,
those are
you
the service.
guys. Amazing.
Yeah, no, this is. It's Pamela, you will be I will tell you, it
Yeah,
is, this is, the mission is in our DNA. You come to
yes,
Varo, every
yes.
employee, we are just embedded with this mission where we think is our number one job is to make sure that financial inclusion and basically creating this financial resiliency for all of our customers.
So good, so good, and something that the incumbent banks really sort of missed out on.
That's
Um,
right.
and tell me, do you guys have like a plan to go global, or is it just always going to be a US bank?
I think it is tough to say when we will
Okay,
go global,
okay,
but what I can tell you is I think we prefer to increase our footprint in US first, right? Because
of course.
we don't think so. We have fully served our purpose yet, right? Because there are still millions of Americans, those who are still needs to be part of this inclusion system. So I
Yes,
think our continuous focus remains to be, the U.S. market and continues to serve our existing customers or the new
yes.
customers. And maybe, once we are done with that, there will be a time in the future where based on how we think there will be a space, but not at this time.
Okay. Well, definitely, it's a much wiser attitude to actually build your cred in the US. That market is the biggest market in the world, really, and yeah, if you win there, you globally is easy peasy after that.
Exactly, exactly.
And I was wondering if how it's going as far as the challenger banks. What's your overview of other challenger banks? Is there more of those sort of setting up now, or again, because I've not been running events, I'm a bit out of touch.
So the thing is, the challenges been coming in, and we saw some spike in they come and they file the application for the charter, but then suddenly we started seeing people taking their applications back, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Because
which
it's a tough
clearly
call, really, to get a charter, right?
it is tough. It is not an
Yeah,
easy thing, right? It is
yeah,
building a bank, getting the charter, working
yeah,
with the regulators. So I think what we started seeing is definitely, this economy is big. We are definitely seeing spike in, more companies trying to enter in providing the services. Some are coming on a very deep vertical, some are coming in more horizontal pace, but I think is it's not easy to get to the path where you get to build that bank,
yeah, yeah,
basically the charter by itself, right? So that's
yeah.
where I think we are not seeing, and I think recently in the
Interesting.
news there were some of the banks recently, Robinhood is a great example. There are some more those who end up withdrawing their application.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. So, what's your perspective of the future? Because obviously, the challenges of the COVID crisis, definitely there's been a lot of suffering and challenges, but there's also been great opportunities for innovation, digital innovation, obviously, and hopefully that has benefited you guys and all your customers. What is your perspective now moving forward? Because obviously the world has changed globally, everything's changed. And I don't ever think it'll ever go back to the way it was, which in some ways might be good. But I know everyone that I've been speaking to has got sort of a different perspective of what the future looks like. Possibilities. Obviously, no one knows for sure. What's your perspective coming from a challenger bank with a charter?
So I think our perspective continues to be is number one. Definitely pandemic has changed a lot. Like it basically clearly has shown the vulnerabilities what we bring it to the system and the
Yeah.
society, but
Yeah.
it has proven again also the resiliency what humanity brings it to the system too,
Yes.
right? But at the
Yeah.
same time I feel this the whole this the mindset about the banking is the mindset about money that's not going away anywhere, right? Because till
Yeah.
the time humans exist, they need money to
Yeah.
survive. And I
Yeah.
think the future, what I see is the future is going to be more where real time payment systems are going to come into the picture. It's
Right.
going to come into the picture where maybe the digitization of the money is going to become where people don't want to use the physical bills on a day to day basis. So we are going to see more towards moving in the direction where the digital devices, my credit card is embedded, my debit card is within my app itself rather than me physically carrying it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I continue to feel other areas where we're going to see more, where machine learning, where consumers are demanding at this moment of time, help me make the decisions, right? It is if I have a young kid, I don't know when to start saving money. So I think we will see more inclusiveness, more integrated customer experience, when to provide it to the customer at the real time when I'm at the right point, right? So this is what we are going to see the shifts happening,
Great.
where the part which I will say, and I tell this to everyone, banking transformation from transactional relationship to emotional relationship is what we are going to see.
Fabulous. And I think the point that I just took out of what you just said is that the future is sort of more about a customer based
That's right.
focus than it has been in the past. And that's sort of exciting for us because, like you said, we all use banks, we all use money, and we're always doing transactions. So that's sort of exciting because the incumbents really didn't. Deliver that customer service experience. So,
That is so true. That's so
yeah,
true. I agree with you.
yeah. Look, fabulous having you on today. It's so good to catch up with Varo and all your innovation, and wish you the best. And hopefully, we'll get you on again
Yeah.
down the line.
Yeah. Thank you, Pema. Thanks for spending time with me.
Thank you.